Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, and viewers around the globe. Here at the United Nations, today we will be discussing the controversial issue between the Israelis and the Palestinians. Taking part in this debate, we have the honor to welcome Oliver Parkin, the State Representative of Palestine, and we have Henry Taft, the representative of the State of Israel. This conflict has been alive and disputed since the 7th century, or even as far back as the Jewish diaspora in the 1st century. Today, we will be focusing on the 4 facets of the issue: Jerusalem, borders, security, and refugees. The first issue we'll be discussing is the topic of borders. Representative Parkin, do you think the current borders are fair? If not, do you think it could be changed in order to create peace?
Speaking on behalf of the Palestinians, I would like to first draw attention to the fact that currently the Israelis hold only about 80% of the land divided up in the 1947 treaty. The land should be more equally distributed, as it was originally intended to be, so that the Palestinians have a more equal portion of our historic homeland. Adding to this point, the Palestinians are losing even more land as we speak, due to the masses of Israeli settlers invading our territory and distorting the borders.
Thank you, Mr. Parkin. Now to Representative Taft. Mr. Taft, what is your position on the argument? Would you be willing to give up some of your land for peace?
Being the representative for Israel, I believe that I'm speaking for everyone when I say that the Israelis deserve a majority of the land in conflict. In 1947, the United Nations created a solution in which 50% of the land was given to each party. The Israelis were satisfied with this solution. However, the Palestinians would not accept even such an equal distribution and started a war with us. We were the victors of this war and are entitled to the land we fought so hard for. However, if the Palestinians could have compromised, then maybe we would not be here today.
Thank you, Mr. Taft, for that insightful opinion. Now we will move on to the next issue, Jerusalem. Representative Taft, you will begin this turn. What is your current position on the city of Jerusalem? Do you think it should belong to one nation or split between two, or shared all around the world?
I understand both sides of the Jerusalem issue, as it is the holy city of many religions, including our 2 cultures. However, it would be difficult to create an international city in which no specific country is in charge. If this was the case, then I believe that the city would be politically inefficient and ultimately fail.
Interesting input, Mr. Taft. Now to Representative Parkin. What are your views on the topic at hand? How do you think Jerusalem should be run in the future?
Palestine is entitled to Jerusalem, as it was our original homeland before taken by the Israelis. As a Palestinian, today it is now hard to even enter Jerusalem, while the Jews have unlimited access. I think that if nothing else, the Palestinians should at least get easy access to our most sanctioned city. Even if the Israelis maintain control of Jerusalem, the Palestinians should have equal religious freedom and the right to enter our homeland.
Fascinating, Mr. Parkin. Both sides have contributed decent points, yet very different opinions. Now we will move on to the next topic of this conflict, refugees. We'll start with you this time, Mr. Parkin.
There are presently about 5 million refugees that have been exiled from Israel, most of which live outside this land, in refugee camps, hoping to one day return to the land that they used to call home. These people need a compensation of some sort, whether it be land or money, in order for them to start a new life.
Very thought-provoking. Now on to the Israeli representative. Your attitudes towards the subject?
I would suggest building infrastructure for the Palestinian refugees to start a new life. I think it is safe to say that moving all the refugees back into this land is impossible and a highly unlikely solution. I know that Israel, with the help of the UN and other non-Middle Eastern nations around the world that would like to see the problem solved, there would be more than enough money to provide reparations for all the refugees around the world.
This might have been the first topic on which both sides could agree on a common possible solution. Finally, we are our last facet, but certainly not least, security. Spokesman Taft, what is your opinion on this subject? And do you have any additional comments or inputs, as this will be your last turn to speak?
Security may be the most concerning topic among the Israeli citizens and government. Every day, Palestinian protesters continue to throw rocks and stones at our innocent people and have even formed organizations in the past, like the Palestinian Liberal Organization, for the sole purpose of instilling fear in our people and committing aggressive acts of terror against our people. One final comment I would like to say is that we have fought for this land too, and we have been attacked many times and have defended our territory and are not ready to give it all away. We feel entitled to this land, as the Jewish worship in the temple in Jerusalem predated all other monotheistic religions. However, if giving Palestinians a portion of the land is the only way to enforce security, we are willing to compromise.
Oliver, with that in mind, will you be willing to compromise on concerning security and other issues you have left unsaid?
The pure reason for our protesting is unhappiness. If the solution was to come to a compromise, we would step down from our fight to freedom. Obviously, terms for a compromise are very different between cultures, and we are resolute not to lose anything more. Finally, I would like to add that our culture has been cast out of our most sacred land for a long time, and I strongly believe that we are due for some sort of improvement. We have lived on this land since the 8th century, and we do have a right to call it home.
Thank you, Mr. Parkin, for this final comment. And a final thank you to all the spectators attending this event. As we have mentioned before, this debate is very complex, and that is why, although both sides have cooperated and respectfully shared their opinions and feelings around the four facets, neither side is willing to give up enough to make the other side happy. After discussing with the other United Nations members, we have decided that the conflict is still too large to be broken down after one debate, and much more time will be needed before a final solution is reached. Thank you to everybody that attended and viewers around the world on behalf of the United Nations. Good night.